A book of drastic events with major effects. Griffin, the main character, and his friend slept at a haunted house overnight. In the morning of that night, they found an extraordinarily rare Babe Ruth baseball card. That same day they went to a pawn shop where they traded it in for $100. Then something that made Griffin frustrated happened. On the news there was a guy from the pawn shop who was holding the card, and the newsman was saying it could be worth $1 million. After he saw that, he knew he had to get that card back. He formed a heist squad that had a dog whisper for the guard dog, Luther, which was probably the mayonnaise dog that was in the town. After they got a blueprint and figured out the house, they were ready to get their card back. Besides the dog whisperer, there was also a professional mountain climber, a computer geek, guy with strength, and a guy who can pick the most hardest of locks. They were all ready to go, but they were waiting for the time to strike. Then the time was now, so they struck at night. They got a ladder to climb to the roof where there was a skylight where they got in from. After the heist was finished and they got the card, they all were laying low. After a couple of days, cops started showing up at their houses. They never really got the money. They were busted.
Griffin never got the money because a friend in his squad group was part of the Rockford family. This meant that he ended up getting the card. His mom took it from him and he never got the $1 million. Griffin or the whole squad never got in deep trouble from the police. The police just wanted an explanation of everything that happened. After he told the cops, they arrested the guy at the pawn shop who swindled them. After everything, they all split up and just acted like nothing happened. How was it to sleep in a haunted house for a night? Personally, I thought that I was going to die. This house was extremely spooky. During the night, me and my friend heard many strange noises and such. When my friend told a story of a mother killing her baby in this very home, I was horrified. After he told me, it felt like a baby kept making noises. He also said something about a dog too. That whole night was scary. I was not even scared of ghosts until this very day. It was just an overall horrible experience. What were your feelings when you got swindled for that Babe Ruth baseball card? When I first found out, I was in shock. When I found out how much it could be worth, I was furious. It said that it could sell for $1 million. It felt like the whole world closed in on me. Just imagine what you could do with all that money. All my family problems about moving would be solved. It would have been luxurious. Were you nervous setting up your heist squad or your so-called team? Yes, but I was more anxious than nervous. I wanted to get that card back, which belongs to me. But I was a little bit scared of getting caught. I made sure everything was in place at the right time. I took no chances cause I knew that this card was very valuable. I have to add that it wasn't stealing, it was getting back my card that I got swindled for. Why were you terrified of the guard dog, Luther? More like I was horrified. This dog was probably the thing I was scared of the most, probably more than the police. This animal was massive in size and he looked like he had muscles. That's why I had a dog whisperer on my squad. This dog was probably the biggest concern in this heist. I'm only a kid, so that thing probably eat me whole. How did you feel when you found out that someone in your squad was related to the Rockford family? I was ticked off that my friend was a part of the Rockford family, and he got the card in the end of all of this. I'm happy that he didn't get the money, but I would have been happier if I got the money. One thing that turned out good was that I wasn't moving. That was why I was so desperate to get this card back. I'm glad that I was able to stay in my town with my friends and family. I learned my lesson from this big thing. This book Swindle was a fantastic book. The book was loaded with many scenes that you can easily picture in your head. I had a grand old time reading this book. I was always wondering what is going to happen next. I recommend this book to those who love action and drama. If I could rate it 1 through 10, I would give it an 8. This book was definitely my type of style. I'm not really into reading, but after reading this book I'm definitely waiting for my next book report. Swindle had many things I look for in a book. It has my action-packed scenes and a mysterious sequence of events. This book Swindle was probably one of the best books I read in my life.